Isabelle Adjani, betrayed by the man she loved, the humiliation of a cinema queen. Flashes explode, tearing through the Parisian night, making the atmosphere brighter than day. But amid this ocean of light, only one face remains still. Isabelle Adjani, the queen of French cinema, walks forward with lowered eyes, fleeing the storm of questions crashing down on her. Just hours earlier, a tabloid had thrown pieces of her private life to the public like shards of glass, stabbing at an image once crowned with nobility and mystery. No one speaks anymore of her moving performances, her prestigious awards, or those rare moments when Isabelle gave her soul on screen. Everything now revolves around whispers of a man in the shadows, of photos hinting at betrayal, of ambiguous phrases tarnishing her name. In the storm of rumors, everyone invents their own truth. Words like bassin, betrayal, humiliation, scandal collide like shattered crystal on marble. And at the center of the chaos, Isabelle does not respond. She does not scream. She does not justify. Her only weapon is silence. But in that silence lies the full brutality of the gaze, the ravenous curiosity of a world hungrier for scandal than for nuance. How could a love once shining like a halo lead to such a dizzying fall? How many times did Isabelle have to breathe deeply before opening her door and facing the slap of gossip-laden wind? She, the icon, the sovereign, the woman once thought untouchable, suddenly reduced to the role of a victim in a story written by others. To understand Isabelle beyond the headlines and cliches, we must return to the source, her childhood, where both her strength and fragility were forged. Isabelle Adjani was born in Paris in 1955, in a small apartment filled with mingling scents, oriental spices from Kabylia, her father's homeland and the sweet fragrance of Bavaria, her mother's native soil. Her father, Mohammed Sharif Adjani, a Kabyle ex-soldier turned mechanic, was a reserved and discreet man. Her mother, Augusta, a gentle and melancholic German woman, carried in her eyes the scars of a Europe still bruised by war. From early on, Isabelle was a child of two worlds. Her slightly tanned skin, her unfamiliar name made her a stranger in the schoolyard. She felt the judging looks, the invisible walls built by other children. Rather than fight, Isabelle chose silence. Rather than complain, she hid behind books, watching life through a window pane. The Adjani home was not filled with tender words. Her father, strict and quiet, rarely showed emotion. Her mother taught restraint and dignity, a shield against gossip. Love existed there, but it wore the mask of silence, shaping in Isabelle both a serene strength and a profound solitude that would never leave her. As a teenager, her beauty began to attract attention. People called her indifferent, mysterious, captivating. But the light embarrassed her as much as it flattered her. With admiration came judgment. Isabelle learned early that the gaze of others is both a ladder and a cage. This childhood forged a singular armor, a distant elegance, a stubborn modesty, a mask that would later help her embody her most intense roles. But in love, no armor could protect her. At just 10 years old, Isabelle stepped for the first time onto a film set. Her spontaneity, her deep eyes, her flawless diction mesmerized everyone. People said she didn't act. She lived her characters. Fame came quickly. The Slap 1974 was her first springboard, but One Deadly Summer 1983 crowned her queen of the screen. The audience saw not just an actress, but a soul infusion. A woman who died and was reborn with every role. In Possession, she brushed madness. In Camille Claudel, she embodied the passion and devastation of a misunderstood genius. Each performance was an offering. Awards rained down, 5 Césars, 2 Oscar nominations. Red carpets became her kingdom. Magazine covers her mirrors. She was hailed as Gamme, the mysterious goddess of French cinema. Beautiful, fragile, yet with eyes sharp as blades. And yet fame isolates. Behind the smile in photographs, Isabelle kept her distance. Unfond of social scenes, she preferred discretion. The press called her Tiro inaccessible. Colleagues found her aloofipai. In truth, she was protecting herself from a world starving for private details. But one day, a glance held too long, a sudden complicity, cracked her fortress. Love arrived on a promising fire, but also pain. Her meeting with Sir Daniel Day-Lewis was described as the collision of two rare planets. She, the empress of French cinema, he, the metamorphic British actor already haloed with prestige. Very soon, a burning passion united them, a love of incandescent intensity only artists could understand. To the public, they were a dream couple, but in private, their love was a flame both sublime and destructive. In 1995, Isabelle became pregnant. She believed this child would seal their bond. But one morning, Daniel vanished. No word, no farewell, and he flew to London, leaving behind a pregnant woman and a broken promise. Isabelle faced the whispers alone and gave birth to a son she raised away from cameras. In public, she remained dignified and silent. But behind her proud eyes, a scar deepened, that of a betrayal without explanation. The love written in the stars had faded, leaving only emptiness. And before that wound could heal, another man entered her life. Jean-Michel Jarre, the genius of electronic music. With him, Isabelle found the illusion of stability, less fiery, more grounded. Together they formed an admired but discreet couple. Isabelle believed she had finally found harmony. Then came the rumors, the blurred photos, the murmurs. Until one day, the truth exploded. A magazine published photos of Jean-Michel with another woman. The shock was immediate. The media erupted. The public devoured every detail. For the spectators, it was delicious gossip. For Isabelle, it was devastation. Once again, she chose silence. No screams, no denials. But her silence only fueled curiosity. Some saw dignity in it. Others saw weakness. Isabelle knew, however, that nothing could dull the pain of this new betrayal. So she broke her silence, not to speak, but to act. In 2005, Isabelle sued Voici, the tabloid that had printed the photos. The trial became a national event. The defense cried, "Freedom of the press." Adjani's lawyers invoked the violence of forced exposure. All of France followed the case like a movie. The verdict fell. Voici was condemned. The media called it a historic victory for artists' privacy rights. But for Isabelle, the victory changed nothing. The images still circulated. The wound remained open. And behind closed curtains, she knew her story with Jean-Michel was over. No statement, no farewell, just a definitive absence. In the years that followed, Isabelle withdrew from public life. She appeared rarely, chose her roles sparingly, surrounded herself with a small, loyal circle far from media frenzy. Yet on screen she continued to embody torn heroines, feeding her performances with her own scars. Each close-up on her eyes revealed a new depth. The scandal did not destroy her. It fortified her, deepening her aura as a mysterious, almost royal woman. She never surrendered to confessional interviews. Her silence became her statement, a symbol of unbreakable dignity. Today, Isabelle Adjani remains in the collective memory as an actress of unforgettable performances, but also as a woman who turned her pain into poetry. 5 Césars, 2 Oscar nominations, and a dignity untouched by the acid rain of scandal. She stands as proof that even in the heart of the storm, a woman can walk with her head held high, a silent queen, who turned suffering into an eternal testament of strength and pride.